Hello, this is Weeb Science. On this channel I'm gonna explain how aspects in anime worlds full of magic, superpowers and mythological creatures can be explained by real-world science. Today I'll talk about Fafnir, the misanthropic, badass, misanthropic, video game loving and misanthropic nerd dragon of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. More specifically, I'll explain why he always wants to have mild curry. Fafnir is based on a dragon of Norse mythology, meaning he probably lived in an environment similar to Iceland or Scandinavia. Those environments have one thing in common. They are close to the North Pole and it can get very cold. How is that important for explaining Fafnir's eating habits, you ask? It's simple. The further away you get from the poles, the spicier and hotter the food gets. This has two main reasons. The first one is pretty obvious. Many spices like chili peppers and pepper come from tropical regions and can't be grown in cold environments. Random side note to the chili. It's hot because of capsaicin, a chemical that birds are immune to. So birds can eat chili peppers without feeling like their mouth's on fire. This is an evolutionary advantage for the chili plant. While mammals chew the seeds, which destroys them, birds swallow them whole and shit them out somewhere else, helping the plant to spread. But let's talk about the other reason why spicy food is more common in regions near the equator. Many spices have antibacterial substances inside them, which can help to preserve the food. I myself did an experiment with different spices on an E. coli culture, and chili and garlic stopped the bacteria from growing around them. But why is it so important for cultures near the equator to take advantage of those properties? The reason is simple biology. Most bacteria causing disease grow best at temperatures between 28 and 37 degrees Celsius, or 82 to 99 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about the temperature uncooled food has in warm areas, or the temperature of the human body, where said microbes want to grow. They grow a lot slower under cold conditions, because their metabolism is slower, decreasing the risk of them causing food poisoning. Spicing food in a hot environment slows down the growth of bacteria, making the food last a few days longer. But it's not meant to enable long-term storage for months. When you live near a polar region, however, you need methods to conserve food over the winter months. Since nothing can grow on the frozen snow-covered soil, some prey animals migrated to the south, and ideally you'd want to kill the farm animals designated to be eaten this winter, so you don't have to waste food on them, and store their meat instead. To do that, you have several options. Freezing stops bacteria from reproducing or can even kill them when the temperature is low enough. Salt added when curing meat or fish draws out the water of bacterial cells, killing them. Drying strips the food of water, and many bacteria and also mold rely on a moist environment to grow. Smoking has the same effect as drying, with the extra advantage of adding chemicals hindering bacterial growth. When done at a high enough temperature, it can even kill off bacteria already on the food. Canning also kills off bacteria with heat and then puts the food into an isolated container bacteria can't get into. In fermentation, non-harmful microbes are deliberately grown on the food, and one of their waste products, typically alcohol or lactate, hinders other microorganisms from growing.
人間っていうのは老廃物で服が汚れるんですね。劣等種。
Pickling creates an acidic or saline environment lots of bacteria struggle to grow on. So the preference Fafnir has for mild food is based around the fact that he grew up in an environment that had no spicy food, because they didn't need it, nor did they have the spices to make it, and thus has a weak tolerance for hot food. This later gets better, because Takya serves him regular curry instead of mild one, without him realizing, indicating that he had built up a tolerance for spiciness. I don't actually believe the writer gave Fafnir the characteristic because of any of the reasons I listed. She simply knew that people from Scandinavia and Iceland don't have food as spicy as cultures at the equator, and decided to give that trait to a Norse dragon. However, the fact that Norse cultures do eat less spicy food is likely because of the reasons I gave.